Welcome to Strip Cover Lit. I'm Adrian Fort.
And I'm Dalton Gentry.
And we're here with a new venture for the channel, non-fiction book news.
Yes, hopefully something that will be available every Friday. Nobody else has been doing book news, so we figure we try to bring you the world of literature as it's seen by the people who are in it.
And whenever Dalton introduces anything, it has to be self-aggrandizing. So, Dalton, what are our stories for this week?
You have no idea. So what we're going to do is every Friday we're going to sit down, we're going to take a couple of stories that are happening right now in the world of literature.
And we're going to put them on display.
And we're going to put them on display.
No one else has ever heard of them.
And God forbid we go too far with this and start having fun. But anyway, first story, Virginia, Accomack County.
Yes.
The school district has just banned To Kill a Mockingbird and The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn.
Yes.
Because a mother complained that it contained racial slurs.
Yes.
Go.
I am not sure that I am the best person to be talking about this. Look, I think that this brings up mixed feelings with anyone because, sure, there are some terms in there that are not all right.
Okay.
Right? Not good.
Okay.
At the same time, people who are in high school are in what is known as the concrete operational phase for the most part. So they're seeing any type of art that they see as an endorsement of something. So when someone uses a word like the N-word, it is seen as not profane, but instead is something that is being allowed.
Okay.
Right? At the same time, this is art. This is what art does. Art does not depend on you or your mama. Okay? Art is for expression. Art is a mirror to the world. Art is not what we wish the world would be. So to take something like this and debate it again, look, it's the same thing over and over again, and especially in a world like we are trending towards, the way the pendulum is swinging, we are swinging towards more and more aggressive censorship. And that's where things are going to go, and it's where things are going to go for a long time, is more and more aggressive censorship. And we should be moving towards a world where censorship is... Look, why are these things being censored? Because people's feelings can't get over them.
Okay.
Right? Not because we're taking a step back and saying, why is this word used in the literature?
Okay.
The word is being used in the literature to represent the word being used in the real world as it was. What does the word being introduced to today's world have to do with an older text? What it has to do with that older text is the fact that you don't want the word to become normalized again.
Okay.
You don't want the word to regain the power. I won't say that it once had, that it still has, but it has a more limited capacity, right? So when you limit exposure to these things... Look, there's a strain of thought that once you introduce the concept of suicide to the wrong type of individual, once you plant that little blue seed, it will come to fruition.
Okay.
So do you try to hide that from someone, or do you try to educate that person that you think might have the right soil for that little blue seed to sprout? Do you try to educate them on what the bad things are, right? You have to try to educate someone to what the bad things are, because the bad things are going to get to them one way or another. So when you take something like this and you say, well, we can't have that word in school, the word is being used in the text for a reason. The word is being used in the text because the word is a bad word. And we have to have a platform upon which to teach why that word is so bad.
It was very professional and very elegant of you. Bravo.
Okay.
Would you like me to take the other end of the spectrum?
Go on.
The kind of person who decides they want to ban a book because it contains a bad word that they don't like is the kind of person who's too fucking stupid to read the book in the first place. End point. We've talked a little bit about banning books on this channel before. One of the first reviews we did was Flowers for Algernon, because my school district, 6 years ago, I'm giving myself credit, 8 years ago, I'm old, attempted to ban Flowers for Algernon, and successfully did. We had to read a censored version because it was inappropriate for kids. And it's usually one person complains, and one person ruins it for everyone.
Yeah.
And all the kids don't care either way. They're not affected either way.
No.
To come home and say that, oh, my son was offended about this. No, your son probably wasn't offended by this. You were offended by this.
And you chose to be so.
And you chose to impose that upon your son, which is horrible parenting. You're an idiot. Yep. I'm done. You feel good now?
Yeah, we can move on.
I feel a lot better. Okay.
Now, here's something else that's extremely troubling about that story. It's taking place in Virginia. Mm-hmm. Virginia has a rich literary tradition with people. I'm just going to leave it there. Okay. I'm just going to leave it there because it's just going to make me angry.
Our next subject here, this is from Rolling Stone magazine. Hunter S. Thompson, you familiar?
Yes.
Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Gonzo journalism.
On the Road.
I hate On the Road so much. Hunter S. Thompson's widow is going to attempt to clone and sell for profit strains of Hunter S. Thompson's personal weed stash. Now that marijuana is legal in a lot of states, you will be able to go and buy Gonzo Bud. Weed straight from Hunter S. Thompson himself. And if they don't call one of them backcountry, they're going to miss an opportunity, a golden opportunity. But this money that is going to be used, I guess her argument for this was she's been approached a lot, but there's never been a right time. She doesn't want to slap his name on somebody's marijuana and then go back later and say, well, this isn't the authentic one.
Yeah.
It will be authentic now. They're working to clone these strains of marijuana, and the money will be used to turn, I think it's called Owl Creek, where Hunter S. Thompson wrote, into a museum and a writer's retreat.
Okay.
Thoughts?
I just wonder if they're going to put Johnny Depp in the commercials.
I sincerely hope so.
I'm not sure what you mean by thoughts on this. I think that's more straightforward than the last one.
Well, it's very straightforward, but it's an interesting concept.
Yeah, it is an interesting concept.
This is a man's legacy who's living on for other reasons. It's not a literary legacy, obviously, but they're using the money of this to build something that's wonderful. Not very often would you get a chance to
sell weed and make a writer's retreat.
Exactly. That's exactly what we're getting at here. No, not exactly would you have a chance to say you passionately enjoy Hunter S. Thompson's writing. You emulate it, you look up to him to write at the desk where he wrote.
Right.
That's an opportunity. The Hemingway House is in Key West, Florida. Are you familiar?
Yeah.
Not to burst your bubble, but that might be on Vacation Spot. You'll get a gift. Probably a cat. Anyway, how often do you get a chance to visit the spot where the man wrote?
Yeah.
That's a big deal for writers. That's awesome. I look forward to that. I endorse it 100%.
Yeah. I wonder if they will be growing the weed there, covertly, in the woods.
I'm going to say no. You don't invite a bunch of people to come to a museum and a writer's retreat and be like, oh, by the way,
weed's out back.
Don't touch the weed out back. That weed's not ready, young man. You leave that weed on the pot until it's done. Anyway, the Art of Manliness blog has listed the 100 books that every man should read. Naturally, we had to go down the list and pick out a couple that we are fond of, a couple we are not so fond of,
a couple that just stood out to stand out.
And let's talk about it a little bit. Should we go one by one from what we chose? Because we can't do the full 100.
No.
Or should we just list them all and talk?
List them all and talk at first.
Okay.
The ones that stood out to us.
Stood out to us. Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald. Slaughterhouse-Five, Kurt Vonnegut. The Sun Also Rises, For Whom the Bell Tolls. We also have the autobiography of Ben Franklin. Ulysses, Huck Finn, and To Kill a Mockingbird. Isn't that ironic that those two would show up in here? Thus Spoke the Zarathustra. The Stranger. Those are the ones that we said, hey, good on ya.
Okay.
These are the books men should be reading. These are great novels by great authors that embody what it is to be a man.
Okay.
You want me to get the others now that we had?
The others.
Okay, so we had to list down a few that we're not so sure about.
Okay.
On the Road, Jack Kerouac. I don't want to hear one more person tell me that I need to read On the Road. Been there, done that, it's awful.
Yeah.
Pride and Prejudice.
Made the list confusingly, yes.
The Road by Cormac McCarthy. And the Lord of the Rings trilogy, which I say is a great choice. I personally believe that is a wonderful selection.
How come both times that we went through that list you left out Call of the Wild?
Oh, did I really?
Yeah.
Call of the Wild, where is it? Oh, the very top. That's why. Call of the Wild would be one that we approve of.
Yeah.
That was a big one for us in college.
There are only 2 Hemingways, which I found much to my consternation, but there were also 2 John Steinbecks.
Okay. There was also one Jane Austen.
There was a Jane Austen.
Okay.
There was Jane Austen.
Jane Austen.
There was a Jane Austen.
In order to be a man, coming from the Art of Manliness blog, a book to be a man, Pride and Prejudice.
Now, here's what I want to know. Why do we have to dampen everything like that?
Okay.
And someone's going to get mad about that and being phrased that way. I don't care. If someone were making a list of the 100 books you have to read to be a real woman, and they put Hemingway on there,
You put Pride and Prejudice on there.
people would lose their shit.
Oh, yeah.
People would lose their... Why do you have to read such a man novel in order to be a woman? It doesn't make sense. But I am expected to grin and bear it when something like fucking Pride and Prejudice makes a list of the 100 books you have to read to be a real manly man, right?
I'm also impressed that Ulysses made the list.
No one has read that.
Yeah, apparently we don't produce men anymore in this generation because no one's read Ulysses.
No one in the
one.
history of the world has read Ulysses.
James Joyce hasn't read Ulysses. But yeah, anyway. But The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn.
Yeah.
And To Kill a Mockingbird, both on there.
Yeah. Strange.
Both banned by Virginia.
Yeah.
Accomack County.
Yep.
So, a little disappointed in that.
Guess what does not happen in Accomack County?
Men.
Yep.
All right. So this is the Book News, a news segment that hopefully we will be bringing to you every Friday where we just break down a few things. We hope you enjoyed it.
Non-fiction book news.
Non-fiction book news. And if you like this kind of thing, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Leave us a comment down below about how you feel about these things. And whether you like this channel. I hope you like this channel.
Yeah.
If you like this series, whether we should keep it going.
Where do you find bookish news?
That'd be good to know.
Yeah.
We're eventually going to tap our markets because we don't understand how this works. And we will leave a list of all these articles down below so you can read them, form your own opinion. Let us know what you think.
Make sure you follow us on Twitter at StripCover and on Facebook at StripCoverLit.